All right, let's do a reading. So the last video I did was on the dark cloud, and I don't know if that one's going to go up first or this one's going to go up first. This one might go up first, and then we'll talk about the darkness cloud that's happening right now. But I was going to come on yesterday and do a reading, but got sidetracked because I was doing a healing reading, an hour-long healing reading for the Moon Circle, which is my healing group, and I'll put a link below to that if you're curious or interested in like more routine guidance and healing from spirit. And so I didn't have time to come on yesterday, but I wanted to come on yesterday and do a reading because you guys like those, and Spirit has had a message for me to bring through, like, to via YouTube and not just to my group. I just didn't have the time to be able to do it before it was too late at night. So let's settle in, and we're going to do a message from Spirit, and I'm getting my deck organized. We're going to do a card reading because that's what I feel like, and I'm going to use these cards, the Earth Magic Oracle cards, which I'll link below. They're some of my favorites. They're some of the, like, they have very shamanic imagery, which makes it, like, very easy for me to tune in to read them, and to connect with what Spirit is trying to tell me through them. So what we're going to do is we're going to open our circle. We're going to call on our spirit guides, angels, ancestors, loved ones, benevolent spiritual beings connected to divine source energy to come in to provide messages for everyone who's listening to this who needs to receive this message. And this message may not be for everybody who's listening. Like, if it doesn't resonate with you, it's probably not for you. But it's for who it needs to be for. I'm going to ask that they bring through a message for the collective at this time, in alignment with Mercury retrograde and the eclipse that's coming up, the full moon eclipse. And see what messages they have for us right now. All right, so let's see what they got. I do have personal readings on my website. There's a link for that in the links below. All right, here we go. Interesting. Okay, so this is, oh, come on, camera. There we go. The first card that we have is Vision Quest. Desert Vision Quest. The second card is Solitude. And the third card is Power. All right. Okay, so this is pretty similar to, well, they delivered a slightly different message yesterday, but it's in alignment with the message they delivered yesterday. So if you're in the Moon Circle, this, I feel like, kind of flows with the message that they delivered yesterday in the Moon Circle. Okay, so with the Desert card, the Vision Quest, and the Solitude and the Lightning, the message that they're speaking to me and telling me is that now, with this Mercury retrograde and with this eclipse that's coming up, it's a time of really reevaluating and really, like, almost taking like an inventory, taking an inventory of your life, taking an inventory of, like, how you got to where you are now, and what you're shifting and what is leaving and what is coming forward for you, like, going into the future, like what new things are coming in. Because what I'm getting is with the new moon that we just had, with the new moon, with the last new moon, what Spirit had said back then was that we were kind of bringing in new energy, right? Okay. And so what they're showing me now is, like, we're still having new energy coming in, but what is happening is that, the shakeup of the energy, the shakeup of our own energy, it's like this, shift or this flip or this kind of, like, the energy being jostled, like things being jostled, things being shaken up. And now we're being called to kind of go, not necessarily go within, but take time away from our regular daily tasks, our regular things that we normally do, the regular like parts of our routine, like almost step outside of our routine and step outside of like our regular ways of being, and do things that we don't normally do. And this even means like maybe you're like, you have like particular roles that you fit in, like in your home and like in your life. And this even means they're saying like stepping out of those roles and like doing other roles for even short periods of time throughout the day, to give you almost like different perspectives and to give you the space for new perspectives to come in. Because what they're saying is like there's new information and new perspectives that are coming in, and that in order for us to receive it, we have to take this time to kind of step out of who and how we're like normally interacting and normally being, so that we can receive this information. It's like, it's what the message here is like going on a vision quest, which is like a nice idea, right? Like, yeah, sure, if you have the like the means to do that, like go to the desert or like go on like a retreat or like go away and like be somewhere else. But realistically, Spirit knows that most people don't have the means to do that right now. And so what are some other ways that you can go on a vision quest, right, within your current circumstances? What are some other ways that you can receive visions in your current circumstances? And what they're saying is all it really takes is stepping out of your routine and like stepping out of like the normal things that you're doing, and like doing different things, like doing like different chores than you normally do. They're showing me like, they're showing me images of you're like doing chores, but they're like not the chores that you normally have. They're like other chores that like normally somebody else has, or like you're doing something that's like not a role that you normally fill. And you're starting to fill that role. And this isn't necessarily like you're going to get a new job, although some of you may be, but what they're showing me is it's like mundane stuff, like mundane roles that you're like kind of filling. And in those mundane moments, that's giving you space to step out from the roles that you normally fill, so you can see things in a different way. In a reading that I gave a couple weeks ago, spirits were talking about how we have these hats, like these hats, these labels, these categories, these ways that we are in the world, and that those labels and those categories that we put ourselves under and give ourselves, those can almost sometimes prevent us from receiving like new information, new insight, new downloads, because we're wearing a certain category, we're wearing a certain label. And so that when we step out of that and are doing a different label, or like not even in the label, we're just switch something up in our routine, then that gives the space for information and clarity to come in. Okay. And so that goes along with the solitude message. And this is a message they gave yesterday in the moon circle also, which had to do with spending time, not just alone, but like disconnected, like not connected to technology, not having technology on your body, like just like disconnected, like you are spending time without any connection to the cloud, the collective. You're just spending time disconnected, and you're spending time alone, so that what is coming in for you can start to make itself more clear and settle into your energy. Because what's happening right now, and what they showed me yesterday, was like almost like there's a swirling, like chaotic energy that is around, is in the collective, is like kind of swirling around. And it's when you're tapped in and connected to the collective, you're also connected with and dealing with other people's swirling stuff and swirling energies that are coming in. And for you, because each person here has their own specific purpose and own specific way that they're meant to be and things that they're meant to do in the world, it's like you can't be connected to other people's swirling energy at this time. So you need to spend some time disconnected, so that the energy that you have within you is settling, and it's starting to become more clear what your path forward is. Okay. What else? They're saying that now is a time of chapters closing. They're showing me an image of somebody like closing up a storefront and walking away. Like almost like things ending, like endings that are happening. And this is creating space for there to be new things that are coming in, which is something that they say often, but they're saying that this time it's like a, it feels like more final. Like it feels like it isn't like a minor ending, you know? Like it sometimes it's like minor endings, minor beginnings, like yeah, you're going to like take a class and like and you're going to like, you know, stop doing this one behavior. It feels like more significant than that. Like bigger new beginnings and bigger endings. They're showing me right now that a lot of people are like feeling, have this like rock bottom energy. Like are almost like at their lowest, like are at their, like are in the middle of the midst of the depths of a dark night of the soul. Like they're showing me that there's people, like a lot of people are like very deep down in this dark night process. And they're saying that there's, the people who are here, a lot of them think that they've like, were already in a dark night process. And they're saying that sometimes isn't a dark night process isn't like a couple of months, or a couple of weeks. Sometimes it's like a much longer period of time. And that a lot of people right now are like right in the middle of it, like right in the darkest depths of it, like almost being tumbled around. They're showing me like an image of a rock tumbler. Where like people are being tumbled around like a rock tumbler. Like people being inside a rock tumbler, like almost being polished and smoothed, from this raw state to like a more polished state. And that right now a lot of people are in this rock tumbler, feeling like tossed around by the universe, tossed around by spirit, tossed around by their guides, tossed around by their higher selves. And then after this tumbling process, that there's going to be this like emergence where you're like I don't want to say coming out the other side of it. That sounds so cliche, but like getting power back. And starting to get more and more clarity, and like starting to be able to walk more confidently and walk more strongly and walk more like not taking, like moving from like a crawling out of the hole to starting to like stand up and walk more confidently as time goes on. And this is this returning of power, this power coming back, and this personal power coming back. They're showing and they're saying that a lot of times power is coming back to people through significant events that kind of strike them down. It's almost like a struck by lightning type image that they're showing me. Like someone's getting struck by lightning, and it's like this like significant transformational moment that allows them to like, it's almost like gives them power. It's like a shock that like jolts somebody with power. And that's what a lot of people are experiencing, is what they're saying. Something that's shocking, that like jolts you with power. And it's not immediately always right away. Like there's this period of you're like where you're shocked and you're like stunned and like can't move after. But it's like after that period, it starts, there's like a shift where there's more power and more confidence and like this transformational moment, which is what is happening right now. This transformational moment is happening now for a lot of people. I'm seeing what else is here. It's the next card I pulled, wake up call, to see if there's any other messages, which is just like exactly what this is in alignment with this wake up call. That a lot of people are going through a wake up call, that a lot of people are going through this like major shift, this major transformational moment. That's like, it's almost like a pivotal moment that's happening right now for a lot of people. Like a big shift, a big one, not a minor one. It's not like I'm going to, get a new outfit or I'm going to go dye my hair. It's not like that. Or like I'm going to go cut my hair. And not that those are like small trivial shifts. That's not what they're saying, but like something like way more significant is shifting and happening for a lot of people right now. And it's like, for those that this is happening to, it's almost like it kind of shifts the trajectory of where your life goes from here, is what they're saying. Like it shifts it's like what they're showing me is that the path that people were on or you were on, it's like a complete shift. And it's just like this flash of lightning, and then boom, you're like, it's like shifting the trajectory of where you were going, the path that you were on. It's this very deep transformational moment. Very deep transformational moment. This rock, you're being tumbled in a rock tumbler. And so back in the winter, they were talking about there being this period and there this time of almost like taking a break or like waiting for like the next assignment. Waiting for the next messages from spirit, waiting for like what you were supposed to be doing next. And so what is happening now is almost like a lot of people started getting back on track, like started feeling like more like themselves. They were like starting to be more motivated to do things, but it was like almost as though people were like putting themselves back on the track that they were on is what they're saying, is like they're putting themselves like back on the track that they were already on and knew to be on, but that like wasn't the track. It wasn't it. It was like people were realigning themselves to like the track that they had been on. And what they're showing me is that there's like this pivotal, this lightning strike, this transformational moment, this like complete wake up call, this shift that's happening. It's like putting you on like a path that's on a different trajectory for you. So for those of you who are going through it, this is really confirmation of that you're going through it. And that there's this like tumbling, deep, dark night. Like it's what they're showing me is almost like a bottom of like a well, or like the bottom of like a cave, like a big pit. And people like are in the bottom of it, kind of being tossed around, like tumbled around, like as though they're being like refined by like the core of the earth, and like the core of the earth is like tumbling you around and being refining you, almost like with this pressure diamond situation where you're being refined and tumbled around in the core. And as this process is over, you will start to be able to climb out and crawl out, and this shift, this transformational energy gives you power, and has given you power to continue on a trajectory that's different than it was before. So it's this spiritual lightning strike moment is what they're saying. It's a spiritual lightning strike moment. And they're just saying to keep hanging on, and that you'll make it out the other side of it. It's like, it's this lightning strike, this tumbling that's happening. I think that's it. I'm seeing if there's anything else here. I see what they're showing me is people climbing out of it. Coming out of like the rock tumbler pit core of the earth and starting to walk higher up and in light, and but with more strength and more power and more conviction. But that's not like, it's almost like that's not yet. It's like still in the tumbling period. All right, that's all, guys. I hope that was helpful. Please like this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, share it if this was helpful for you, and I will see you later.